This is going to be my 2-day pack. I carry this with me most of the time, about 80% of the time I would say. I live at the far northern end of the metro, and if I'm way out south, it could be anywhere from a 30 to 40 mile trek home, so I'll pack this one with me. And it's set up for 2 days. The pack itself is a Condor Urban Assault pack. It's one of the smaller ones they make. And being black, it blends right into the black interiors of most of our vehicles at our transportation company. And since I'm in a suit and dress shoes all day, I've got to bring some comfortable shoes. These Nike Monarchs are the only ones I've really found that don't hurt my feet. And I'm not walking 30 miles on my Johnston & Murphys. So on the outside, I'm not a big fan of chem lights at all. Once they're cracked, they're on. They're not going off, and once they're spent, they're spent. So I picked this up at Target, this little LED stick. It takes a standard AA battery. It's got a flashlight on the end of it, a couple of different modes. And you can turn it on and shut it off. This is bear repellent. It's standard pepper spray, but it gives you a nice shotgun blast. That's a pretty good crowd pleaser. And I've just lashed it to a speed clip, woven through some of the webbing on the outside, and it's lashed to that with some of those Velcro straps I love so much that I picked up at Harbor Freight. On the front is this is just a small monocular, my Bofang ham radio, and a multi-tool. And these little clips right here, we always keep bottled water in our cars, little tiny Ozark bottled water, and these little clips you can find at Dick's or most sporting good places. You can clip little bottles of water on the front of these, so I'll be gathering up as many of those as I can if I have to leave the vehicle. And this little guy I picked up at a thrift store for, get this, 50 cents. These metal water bottles aren't cheap. And my knife is a Cold Steel GI Tonto, $20 on Amazon, and I've used it. It's been broken in to process wood, and it worked great. The only complaint I have is the handle. I felt some movement in the handle when I was batoning wood, and that's eventually going to have to come off. I'm just going to do a paracord wrap on it whenever I feel like doing it. I should probably get right on it, but you know how life intrudes. In the back, normally in the back compartment, this is winter time, but in the summertime, I'll pack some extra clothes. It's just a t-shirt, some socks, and a pair of convertible cargos. But now that we're into cold weather, I've taken this out and put some cold weather gear in there, and I have another cold weather bag to supplement all of my bags with severe cold weather gear and apparel that I'll go into in another video. There's a backup Cree flashlight. Up here is the med pouch, just pretty basic stuff really. A surgical mask, and for this pack, this simple pack, I've kind of opted for the pre-packaged med kits. And there's some other miscellaneous stuff I've put together. There's a suture kit in there. This has got some meds in it, some aspirin and such, but it's pretty basic. And there's always a lighter in there, a spare lighter. And in this front pouch here, a lot of utilities. This is good grief. This is a cook stove that I made. I found this on YouTube on how to make this. I keep a lighter in there and some cotton balls that have been soaked in Vaseline. But it's a pretty simple little apparatus and perfect for a bag like this. This little grate comes right out, flips over, so that ash will fall down inside, and these screw right on top of these little screws that I have in there, and a nesting cup will sit perfect on there for boiling water. And I'll try to find a link to the video I watched on how to make this. Pretty simple. It only took me about an hour to make this. And I think it less than $5 in materials, including that Altoid tin, which came full of product. I can't beat that. Just a rag, a sweat rag. There's a microfiber cloth, mostly for my glasses. I'm a real fiend about clean glasses. There's my Sawyer water filter system. There's an earpiece for my Bofang. Some extra AA batteries for my flashlight. AAA batteries for the Bofang, as well as the AAA battery compartment for the Bofang. Here's a backup knife, Just a cheap Gerber utility knife. It's always done the trick. I've had this for several years and I've got no problems with it whatsoever. And Tennifer LeBeaufang. And a nice sharpener to refine the edge on my knife when I'm out there processing wood and whatnot. Several feet of duct tape wrapped around a credit card. And a water key. Since I'm in an urban environment, hopefully I'll be able to find some clean water from a tap. And there's a spare key to my bug out vehicle, which is a subject for a whole other video. And in here there's just a little tiny wire saw. I've actually used it and it worked great. I picked this up at a survival store. They've got them all over the place on Amazon and eBay. I want to say it was about $5 and it was well worth it. Like I said, I used it. It works. I don't know how it's going to hold up over extended use, but I like it. In this compartment, I have one of my nesting cups and some Clif bars and a hand crank radio. There's one 5-hour energy. I've got a bunch. There's a Mountain House. Another 5-hour energy. About 100 feet of 550 cord. Again, the hideous color is because it was dirt cheap. $30 for 1,000 feet. What I plan to do is get some dye or some Old English furniture restore and just darken that up a little bit. I haven't really been motivated to do that just yet. There's a couple of MREs and heaters, so I can eat on the fly and not have to worry about building a fire every time I want a meal. There's another one. So I've got 4 of those all together. Another Clif bar. I wasn't a big fan of these until I started eating them, and they're not bad. You know, everybody's got these in their videos. Clif bars, Clif bars, Clif bars, but they're actually pretty good. You ought to check them out. And just some wet ones. There's my eating utensils, some Kleenex, bug repellent, and that's it for that compartment. And the main, one thing I do like about this bag, it has a full clamshell opening on this main compartment. Here's some wintertime stuff. I've got a full pair of cargo shorts and a sweatshirt and a belt and some thicker socks. More 5-hour energy, 4 all together. Another nesting cup, one for filtering water, for dipping and filtering, and another for boiling. So I like to have two cups. There's my cleaning syringe for the water filter, some surgical scissors, more Clif bars, and an extra set of eyewear, just in case I lose or break these, and just a cheap rain poncho. That's going to do it for that compartment. This sleep system, this hammock, I picked up at Walmart for around $19. I have them on all my bags, and Prepared Mind 101 did a very good review on this. Check it out on his YouTube page. What he put his through, I should have no problem with this. Set this up so I can get in the other compartment. All the way here in the very back, there's a tarp for my rain fly to go over the hammock. And that's all that's in there. Pretty basic and simple for a 2-day trek home here just locally. Some of the bigger packs I'll get into, but that's the one that is with me every single day, most of the time, 80% of the time. Thanks for watching. Be safe.